All right, check it out. We're gonna go over my 5 advanced plyometric drills for combat sports. Let's get into it. All right, so real quick, plyometrics, right? It's a quick amortization phase, meaning as soon as you hit the ground, you gotta redirect force fast. This is going to enhance your power production. It's going to enhance your tendon stiffness and elasticity. It's gonna make you more elusive and more explosive inside the ring or on the mats, right? So what I'm gonna show you are more advanced versions of what I use getting deeper into camp and going into a peaking phase, right? So this is when we've already established a baseline of plyometric ability. We established our ability to absorb force and redirect it. Now we're gonna be doing more higher advanced movements. So first one we got, Wyatt's gonna go ahead and take the dumbbells. What you're gonna use is somewhere around 10, maybe 15-pound dumbbells in each hand. We want to add load on this because it is more advanced and we're gonna increase the intensity with that. The movement is very standard, right? So similar to jump rope, we're just gonna be switching our steps. So it's a split stance and it's a pogo style. So you're gonna hit the ground, make sure that you pull the toes to the top of the shoe and you're redirecting. So sets and reps here, you wanna do somewhere around 3 to 5 sets and you're gonna do this for 5 to 10 seconds. Another thing that you want to be mindful of is try not to bend the knees too much, right? We want more ankle motion. So again, you're going to flex and redirect. So it's a stretch reflex motion, right? So stretch and contract as rapidly as possible. Especially for strikers, it allows you to get in and out of the pocket. It allows you to move, again, more efficiently, but also more elusive. All right, the next one is going to be a low box drop down lateral push, right? 2 reasons why we have the low box. One, it's more for increasing that amortization phase, improving on your ability to redirect and go more lateral this time. So you got lateral force displacement as soon as you hit the ground. This isn't a form of shock method training. If it was, we'd go a little bit higher. We'd probably go around, for me at least, 24 to 30 inches off the drop. But for this one, it's just simply to get that amortization phase worked on. So I'm gonna go ahead, drop down, push lateral. Drop down, boom, and then push. As soon as you hit the ground, you go, all right? Same concept, you wanna do 3 to 5 sets, and I would say somewhere around 3 to 5 repetitions on each side. Wyatt pointed out a good point there. So when you're stepping off, you can switch legs on what foot is your lead off or your push off, but we're not propelling ourselves down. We're not jumping off the box and landing. We're just simply stepping down. So when you step, you wanna land on 2 feet simultaneously. So even if I use, let's say the right foot is off first, I'm still landing at the same time. Here, land, boom, and then push. Even if I was going that way, same concept, feet and go. The next one that we're gonna do is a tall kneeling pop-up 45-degree jump back. You can, I know, a lot of words. It's like fucking,
Playing the NFL.
it's like playing the NFL. Facts.
He's leaned over in a huddle too.
Fucking sound like John Gruden in this motherfucker. Come on, it's easy. 25 man, 35 step back, rotational windmill, controlled, make it happen. Let's go. All right, so you wanna make sure that you have the toes down. So I don't wanna see your toes dorsiflex like this. A lot of athletes, they like to cheat and they just roll back up. So we wanna get extension of the ankles and then flex into dorsiflexion as we go into that, I guess, that jump up position, right? So as I jump, I'm going into hip extension. I'm pulling my toes underneath me again. I'm landing, redirecting force, and pushing 45 degrees. This can simulate a takedown. This can simulate changing positions or changing direction in your striking. So it's very important that we learn how to do this and we learn how to do this efficiently. First, you wanna do this by just learning how to do the tall kneeling pop-up. So you're here, we pop up to the feet, boom. And then once you get good at it, then you can start to implement other positions and other planes and all that other stuff. So pop up, boom, push. All right, and you're gonna land square, facing that 45-degree angle, almost like you're bladed in your bladed stance going forward. For fighters, if you're a striker or MMA, you can go into it and then throw some punches. Or you can go ahead and add a med ball variation to it. So you jump up, 45-degree pushback, partner or coach, throw the ball at the hip, redirect it going back that way.
That's what I was waiting for right there.
Now you're throwing in ballistic training along with your plyometric training. So for this one, you wanna do somewhere around, same thing, 3 to 5 sets. You can do 2 reps on each side, and if you want to add on to it, you can. If you're looking at it from a football position, right? So like defensive backs, this would be good to get off the break, right? And then you can sprint forward, right? So there's a lot of ways that this can be implemented, not just for combat sports, but for any contact sport or any sport that requires higher dynamic movements. This next one is somewhat more intermediate to advanced, and you can add on to it obviously, but this one's gonna be a lateral push. You're gonna rotate, so you're rotating in midair, landing on 2 feet, and then going right into a vertical jump, so you're getting triple extension after that. Wyatt's gonna go ahead, drop down fast on the single leg, drop, push, then go right to it and drop into it. So the lateral portion doesn't have to be maximal. We just want to get a good push off, and then the vertical you want to be as max height as possible. Hold the hip and go. Get up. Yeah. If you got a double leg, right, and you're flaring out, so I'm pushing lateral, or if I get into a single, right, and I need to get my hips involved, I'm dropping into that triple extension is gonna be good for takedowns. It's also good for striking too as well. Sets and reps, same thing. 3 sets to 5 sets, somewhere around, I would do 1 to 3 reps each side. So this last one is a lateral triple jump. So it's a lateral single leg triple jump. And the goal here is, 1, it's for more coordination, balance, control, hip strength, and you're pushing in that lateral force. Now, after the 3rd jump, you're gonna rotate the body into that transverse plane and land on 2 feet. So you're pushing, 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 and then stick. So you're gonna cover a lot of ground on this one. With every rep, we want it to be maximal, especially the last one when you're rotating. Push, 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 and stick. You got 5 plyometric drills that are advanced to intermediate. When you're programming this, make sure that 1, they have the ability to redirect force. They're good with their basic plyometrics, right? They can land, they have good stability when they land, and then they can produce force. Start with boxes, right? Jumping on boxes, dropping down off boxes, doing a depth jump, then a low depth jump, and then working your way up to like shock method training. And then this one would be good, especially getting closer to a fight where you're working on peaking for the fight. You can use this with contrast training, or you can put this in the beginning of your strength work, right, in the weight room. So try it out, let me know how it goes. If you want any of my power-based programs, link is down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Wyatt, make sure you go ahead and follow him. All right, and see you next time. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to figure out exactly what you want, right? What do you want to accomplish? And there's nothing wrong with setting new goals and having aspirations for a start of a new year, but you have to get after it. The thing that people in the beginning, they start off hot, right? They're there in the gyms are packed, everybody knows that. But then people start to die out and it starts to dwindle down because of the fact that they really didn't want that. That wasn't their true why. And so for me, I like to peel back the layers on exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. And for that, that'll keep you going and it'll keep you pushing past those uncomfortable days where you don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, my why is my family. So whatever I do and every aspect of what I do is for them. And that why is way higher than me just wanting to shed a couple of pounds. Why do you want to shed a couple of pounds? Is it because your health's declining? Is it because, you know, it makes you feel better? It gives you more confidence? And when you can do that, it allows you to get up on those days that you don't want to do things. Because there is going to be those days are going to come more than not. And so 90% of the time, it's all about setting the routine, because once you have a routine and you're focused on that, then discipline comes and you don't have to have that motivation, because that motivation of you having to get there is already set in stone. We made a plan, you put it in action, you stay conscientious on that plan, and you make sure that you get the things necessary done in order to achieve the ultimate goal. Every year I write out, I would say 4 or 5 distinct goals or rocks that I need to hit, right? And they could be short term, medium term, and long term. And I go over them routinely and I write them down so that I can revisit them, because, you know, things are gonna happen, things are gonna come up, right? Life, that's what happens in life, right? So having that there to remind you of the process that you need to take on in order to get those goals that you set out for yourself. Now, this takes time. This isn't something that you just put together within 5 minutes. You know, take your time with it. It may take a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. There's no problem with writing it down. I think that everybody should write it down at some point or type it down, whatever you need to do to remind you of those things that you want and those things that you need to achieve in order to feel whole, right? You also have to take a look at your true purpose, right? Why are you here? And look at what God has intended you to do. And so for me, if I steer away from that, I make sure that I go back to the path of what God has intended me to do. And that allows me to stay the course and keep flowing in the right direction to get the vision accomplished. Having nice things is good because it gives you confidence to know that you're doing the right things. And materialistic things, depending on the person, obviously people want nice cars, nice clothes, jewelry, whatever. It's more shallow in that perspective, but if that thing that you get allows you to have more confidence to drive into your actual purpose, then so be it, you know. But for me, I like to help people. I like to give them the direction necessary for them to get the goals accomplished that they wanted and needed for a long time. So you just got to find out what fills that void, what fills that cup up each and every day. And like I said, it's cool to set goals that are materialistic and everything else. I don't mind that, but you have to think deeper. You have to really dig down and find out exactly what you want. And from there, you can achieve massive success. So whatever success that you can define, whether it be financial freedom, whether it be finding love, true love, or doing the things that you love to do and living through God's purpose, by far is one of the things that are going to drive you past, you know, that mediocrity and those days that you don't want to do things. I remember when I started training, really when I started coaching athletes, I went to Dean Thomas and I said to him, I was like, I had some really materialistic goals where I wanted to win awards and all this stuff, and I wanted to get world titles. And he said, why would you want that? And I go, well, I think for me, it was just for my own self-assurance, right? To feel confident in my ability. What I found was that materialistic goal helped me learn as much as I could learn, right? And getting the experience necessary for me to help others. So, like I said, it's okay to have those materialistic goals as long as the preparation and the execution is for a grander purpose. Like I said, I wanted to win awards. I won the awards. I got that accomplished. That was awesome. But in that process, I learned a whole lot. And when I learned that much, when I learned the details, when I learned the technique, it allowed me to help others achieve massive success. So, like I said, it goes back to understanding the whole thing. And if that drives you, then let it drive you. But the execution needs to be whole. That's why I was able to do the things that I've done and continue to do the things that I do.